What do you do when you've done everything right? You prayed, you fasted, you served in church every Sunday, you kept yourself pure, you trusted God. And still nothing.
This is the story of Grace, a woman who loved God deeply, but couldn't understand why God seemed so silent about one thing: her heart. Grace was 35 years old. She had a good job, a beautiful apartment, wonderful friends, a deep personal relationship with God. By every measure, she was winning at life. But there was one prayer she had prayed since she was 22 years old that had never been answered.
Lord, please send me my husband.
13 years of that same prayer. 13 years of waiting. And still, she slept alone. It started as concern, then it became comments, then it became pressure.
She's 35 now. What is she waiting for? Maybe she's too picky. That's her problem.
She had learned to smile through it, to laugh when it wasn't funny, to say God's timing when inside she was screaming.
Don't worry, my daughter. Your own is coming. Thank you, Mama.
She had heard those words so many times, they had stopped feeling like comfort and started feeling like pity. Social media had become a battlefield for her faith. Every scroll was another reminder. Daisy, her best friend from university, they had graduated together, prayed together, believed God together. Daisy was now on her second child, and Grace was still waiting.
What's wrong with me?
That question, that dangerous, toxic question, is the enemy's favorite doorway into a waiting woman's heart.
God said it is not good for man to be alone. Amen.
She tried to receive it. She truly tried. But something inside her had started to crack. Alone in her car, in the church parking lot, she wept. Not quietly, not gracefully. She wept the way only God can hear.
God, what did I do wrong? Am I not good enough? Did you forget about me? I'm so tired, Lord. I'm so tired of waiting.
And in that moment of absolute surrender, God did not send the husband. He did something better. He showed up himself. That night, she couldn't sleep. So she did what she always did in the hard moments. She opened her Bible. Her finger lands on a verse. She reads it slowly.
For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future.
She had read that verse 100 times. But tonight, it landed differently. Tonight, it felt personal, like God had written it just for her, just for this moment. Something shifted in her spirit that night. She didn't hear an audible voice. She didn't see a vision. But deep in her soul, she heard something.
I haven't forgotten you, Grace. I've been protecting you.
And then God began to show her, like a gentle film playing in her heart.
There was Michael. She had loved him deeply at 26, prayed and believed he was the one.
What she didn't know then was that behind closed doors, Michael had a rage she had never seen. His wife today walks on eggshells in her own home. Then there was Daniel, a deacon, well respected. Her mother had loved him. Daniel had a secret life, a double life. God saw it. Grace couldn't. And then there were the ones she never even knew about. The connections that almost happened, but God quietly closed every door. Not because he was punishing her, but because he loved her too much to let her walk into a life she would have to survive.
God's protection doesn't always look like open doors. Sometimes it looks like closed ones. Sometimes it looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like waiting. Something changed in Grace after that night. Not her circumstance, her heart. She stopped praying from a place of desperation and started praying from a place of trust. She stopped comparing her chapter to someone else's chapter. She realized God was not writing everyone's story at the same pace. He was writing hers with more care, more detail, more intention. She was still single, but she was no longer empty. There is a difference between being alone and being lonely. Grace had finally learned that difference.
Maybe you are Grace today. Maybe you're reading this at 28 or 33 or 40, and you're wondering if God has forgotten you. He hasn't. Let me say that again. He has not forgotten you. His silence is not absence. His delay is not denial. His not yet is not never. The right person at the wrong time is still the wrong person. God is not slow, he is precise.
Stop measuring God's faithfulness by your timeline. He exists outside of time. He sees the end from the beginning. And what he is preparing for you required this season of waiting to prepare you for it. 1 year later, Grace walks into a community event. Confident, radiant. She's laughing fully herself. Then, across the room, she notices someone noticing her. This story doesn't end with a wedding, because that was never the point. The point was Grace, becoming whole, becoming healed, becoming the woman God always saw when he looked at her. Grace looked up and said, "Lord, I trust you." God's delays are not denials. They are protection. They are preparation. They are love. Trust his timing.